Only half of Americans say they've even heard of the Republican budget bill currently making its way through Congress. Even fewer people know what's actually in that bill, but it will affect our lives directly in a number of ways. So let's get into it. First, the bill would make major cuts to America's healthcare system, starting with Medicaid. It covers a lot of working people in this country, including about 40% of all births in the United States. The bill also makes changes to the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare. Those changes are so sweeping that Bloomberg Opinion columnist Ronald Brownstein says we should see this bill as yet another Republican attempt to roll back Obamacare, but this time in stealth mode. If the bill passes, millions of people will lose their health insurance. And the bill would also make major changes to the US tax code. Some of the tax cuts in here will be politically popular, like ending taxes on tips and overtime pay. But those working class tax cuts are just small potatoes compared to the massive savings the rich will get if this law goes into effect. In fact, when you do the math on the bill as a whole, according to the nonpartisan Yale Budget Lab, the richest 1% of earners, those who are bringing in more than $650,000 a year, will save about $30,000 a year every year if this bill goes into effect. And the richer you are, the more you save. At the other end of the spectrum, the poorest 20% of earners will actually lose money. There's tons of other stuff in this bill. It would massively increase spending on ICE and deportation. It would slash tax incentives for green energy, including things like rooftop solar panels, and it would cut SNAP. That's food stamp benefits. Taken together, these changes would balloon the deficit, which would increase the cost of borrowing for consumers, making it much harder to do something like buy a home. So now that you know what's in the bill, do you like it? If you want to know more about any of these, let me know in the comments.